Welcome to Granny Tanny's Book Nook. Today we'll be reading the first chapter of the Travels of Ermine, who is very determined. It's out on stage. This book is written by Jennifer Gray and available from Usborne booksathome.ca. Dear Sylvia, thank you very much for offering to have Ermine to stay on her world travels. Since I adopted her, she has turned out to be a very determined young lady with a great sense of adventure. I am sure she and Butterfly will get on like a house on fire. Ermine also likes to help out, so if you need anything fixing, she is definitely the one to ask. She will be arriving at 11:30 on Tuesday morning. I've told her to meet you at the Opera House. With best wishes, Maria, the Grand Duchess Maria von Schnitzel. This is being sent to Dame Sylvia Lungstrong, care of the Sydney Opera House in Sydney, South Wales, Australia. Chapter 1. At the Sydney Opera House. Sylvia Lungstrom, the world's greatest opera singer, was feeling frazzled. There was only a week left before curtains went up on her performance at the Sydney Opera House, and she was late for rehearsal again. The director would be cross, the cast would be crossed, and Luciano Singalotti, who was playing the main part opposite her, would probably storm off stage in one of his famous tantrums. Sylvia was never normally late, but having her 8-year-old granddaughter Butterfly to stay at the summer holidays made life much more complicated, especially as Butterfly thought opera sounded like a bunch of hyenas stuck in a dustbin. Thank goodness she had phoned her old friend Maria for advice on what to do, thought Sylvia. And what a stroke of luck that Maria had suggested Ermine should come and stay as part of her world travels. It would be a wonderful surprise for Butterfly to have a friend to play with, particularly one as unusual as Ermine. Sylvia smiled to herself. She could hardly wait to see the look on her granddaughter's face when their guest arrived. But meanwhile, she had a rehearsal to go to. Please hurry up, Butterfly, Sylvia begged. The opera house stood looking over the harbor. It was built on a great platform like ancient temple, and Sylvia and Butterfly had only reached the first level. There was still another big set of steps to go before they got to the stage door. I don't want to, Butterfly dragged up the stairs behind her grandmother. She was a slip of a girl with a gentle face and big dark eyes. Right now, though, she didn't look gentle at all. She looked positively ferocious. Her face wore a big scowl, and her thick cropped hair poked out in all directions from under a baseball cap, which she had on back to front. The baseball cap was denim, like her dungarees and sneakers. She was also wearing odd socks. I want to climb the bridge. Sydney Harbour Bridge was probably the city's best-known landmark apart from the Opera House. It formed a great arch over the harbour, and Butterfly had set her heart on climbing all the way to the top of it and all the way down the other side of the famous bridge climb. We'll do that later, Sylvia promised. But I want to do it now, Butterfly sat down on the concrete. Butterfly, Sylvia pleaded, I am late for rehearsal as it is. I need to practice. No, you don't, Butterfly said. You need to sing something decent like Winifred Winnett does. Her face brightened. Her performing wallabies are awesome. Winifred Winnett was a child entertainer famous for songs such as Kevin the Kangaroo and Kiss Me Koala. To Sylvia's trained ear, it was clear that Winifred Winnett could barely sing a note, but everyone in Australia, including Butterfly, absolutely adored her. Winifred and the Wallabies had won the biggest talent show on Australian TV for 2 years in a row and were hotly tipped to win this year's competition too, which was due to take place in just 2 days' time. Australia's most awesome animal show. Sylvia had thought it would be fun to get tickets, but she'd learned about Ermine's visit. She'd had even better idea. Just then she heard a faint pattering behind her. Excuse me, said a voice. I am looking for Sylvia Lungstrom. Do you know where I can find her? Only this place this enormous, and I don't know where to go. A brown, furry animal with a long, black-tipped, bushy tail, two coal-black eyes, white whiskers, a pink nose stood beside Butterfly. The creature was about as high as Butterfly's knee and was wearing a blue pinafore dress and a straw hat. A camera was slung over its shoulders, and in one paw it carried a small bag marked toolkit. "Ermine!" Sylvia cried with relief. "You're early!" "Sylvia!" Ermine squeaked. "It's you!" She removed a photograph from her pocket and examined it. "You look just like your picture, except without the horns." "I only wear those on stage," Sylvia explained. She bent down and regarded Ermine closely. "And you look just like your picture too, except your fur is a different color." "It's white in the winter," Ermine told her, "but in the summer it turns brown. We Stoats are very clever like that." "You certainly are," Sylvia said. "By the way, this is my granddaughter Butterfly." Ermine held out a paw. "Hello," she said politely. "I'm Ermine." Then, "Did you fall over, or do you like sitting on the floor?" Butterfly gawped at her. "You can talk?" She said she'd forgotten all about her tantrum. "Yes, but I can't sing," Ermine said sadly. "At least not as well as your grandmother can." She clasped her paws together and looked up at the opera house in awe. The roof of the beautiful building towered above them like a set of billowing sails. "I can't wait to go to the opera and hear you sing, Sylvia." Ermine sighed. "I can wear my feathered hat." "Your what?" Butterfly said, getting up. "My feathered hat," Ermine replied. "The Duchess gave it to me. She adopted me when I was a kitten. She taught me all sorts of useful things, like how to fix a bike chain and when to wear a feathered hat." "Where is your feathered hat, Ermine?" Sylvia asked. "With the rest of my luggage," Ermine said. "The taxi driver's bringing it. Look, there he is." The taxi driver came towards them, carrying a small stack of brightly colored suitcases. "You can put them in my dressing room," Sylvia told the taxi driver. She glanced at her watch. "Now I really must get going, Butterfly. You take Ermine to the cafe and get her something to eat." She paused. "And while you're there, you can work on your act." "What act?" Butterfly asked. Sylvia's eyes twinkled. "The one you're going to do for Australia's most awesome animal show. I've entered you both in the talent competition." "Really?" Butterfly gasped. "Really," Sylvia smiled, "as long as Ermine agrees." "Please, Ermine," Butterfly begged. "I've always wanted to do something like that." Ermine didn't have to think about it for too long. A talent show. It sounded exactly the sort of thing she'd be good at. She nodded. "Of course I will. The photographs will look brilliant in my scrapbook. The Duchess said I have to fill it up so I have a record of my travels." "Yes!" Butterfly high-fived Ermine's paw and gave Sylvia a big hug. Then she bounded down the steps towards the harbor. "Wait for me!" Ermine chased after her, the sun warming her fur. As she looked out over the blue water, she had a feeling this was the start of a really big adventure. What do you think? Check out the Travels of Ermine for more chapters. Have a great day.